Hi Vedalam. So Chechi was scrolling on Insta as one does, and she saw a woman shaking her ass, and there was auto-tune on the woman's voice. So I was like, why is a Bhojpuri song on my For You page? And then the woman turned, and it was Malika Arora, and that's a Yo-Yo Honey Singh song. Is everything Bhojpuri now? So for everyone new here, I am actually a Malayali. I literally don't know about Bihar. I have never had an actual conversation with somebody from Bihar in my life. I am so out of touch with Bihar to the point that the most relevant Bihari I can think of is Riddhi Patwa. And I find it particularly hilarious because Riddhi will be literally doing anything existing online, and there will be somebody reminding her that she is a Bihari. So what does Bhojpuri mean to me? I usually think of auto-tune and tits or navel. You might be thinking, Vedangi, you're from South India. You should not be judging for that. And I agree. But I have my points here. I'm a Malayali, which makes it worse. South Indians are obsessed with navel. True. But I don't think it's at the level of Bhojpuri. Like, I feel like they have taken it to another level. Somebody is going to comment, oh, you're Malayali, your film industry literally has B-grade films. I wasn't even born when those things were like relevant. I am from the land of Shakila. But even I am shocked by everything happening today because Shakila used to be there. Malayalam used to do lots of B-grade films, and Bhojpuri still does. And you guys might be thinking, Vedangi, you are literally stereotyping and generalizing all Biharis. Okay, how mainstream does the sexualization of women have to be that it is part of your election campaign? Somebody is going to say like, oh, Bhojpuri film industry is not even that relevant. But I like to argue that it is relevant because go to your Instagram right now. Go to Instagram, go check the music section. Go to the trending section. And there are 3 types of posts that you will see. Number 1, it's going to be a Punjabi song. Number 2, it's some cringy dialogue like
बदल देंगे खुद को नए साल से किसी के इंतजार का ये सिर्फ आखिरी महीना होगा आँखों की है ये ख्वाहिशें.
And then there is the Bhojpuri songs. How to recognize if a song is Bhojpuri? Auto-tune. That is literally how you do. And also if you go to YouTube India, those videos are doing like billions of views. It's crazy. These songs are also like always very weirdly named. Bhojpuri's song titles and film titles are just genuinely so out of this world. I'm trying to be nice. Bhojpuris are so creative, like with the naming of their films. Like you will never guess if it is a Bhojpuri film or a B-grade film. I mean, there is not much of a difference, but still. So today we are gonna play a game, guys. So, is it a Bhojpuri film title or did I make this up? Number 1, Harami Kela. It's a Bhojpuri film. सांस के कमर पे सांस. I made it up, guys. एक लैला 3 छैला. It's a real film title. हिलाया मेरा तरबूज. I made it up. You know what, guys? I think I inspired somebody from the Bhojpuri film industry to actually name their movies like this. I mean, contact me. So in Bihar, there's actually lots of languages. Bhojpuri film industry is actually called Bhojiwood, unsurprisingly, and they're actually pretty huge. But the thing is, they keep producing slops over slop. It's like churning out literally like dumplings. It's literally like T-series of the film industry. It's just churning out stuff. No offense to T-series. So how has Bhojiwood actually affected other film industries? I would like to bring attention to Pushpa. So Pushpa 1 was a very grounded film, actually very different from other Telugu films. It's a bit glorified, of course, he's a hero, but there was a bit of grounded realism. There was a bit of, tharkiness with Rashmika's navel and all, but still, it was pretty good. But things changed with Pushpa 2. Also, by the way, I also have beef with my 3 filmmakers. I made a Pushpa 2 slander and they took it down. They copyright striked it. That video had 5 million views. I think I made 4,000 followers from that video alone. I hate you guys. Pushpa 2 was already one of the most anticipated films of the year, and you would think that a Telugu film would have its trailer launch event in South India. But no, it happened at Patna, Bihar. And it was a huge success. The crowd was huge. The thing is, the lower class North India really loves Telugu films. And there is a very simple explanation to it, and that is YouTube has them dubbed for free. That's it. I don't think I have to explain this to you guys. You guys know how popular these, Telugu dubbed in Hindi are. Has popularized the Telugu industry to a huge level, and Pushpa was definitely a huge hit there. And I think Telugu film industry started to notice that they are actually popular and they can actually make more money out of North India as well. And I think that's why Pushpa 2 was such a weird movie. Pushpa 1 and Pushpa 2 are like two stark opposite of movies. Pushpa was a bit more grounded, while Pushpa 2 was literally a serial and a Bhojpuri film into one. I went to watch Pushpa 2 first day on theaters. I had one of the worst days in my life that day, and my brother was like, let's go for Pushpa 2 with his friends. And I can tell you, I laughed so bad. I couldn't stop laughing. I laughed because of how bad that movie was. I was literally laughing every time scenes were getting sexual. But you know what was more funnier? When the Peeling song was on, there were kids in the theater and it was making me laugh way more harder. That song was so vulgar, but it was fun, by the way. It was so vulgar that I literally thought I would rather watch them fuck on screen. Might as well show me how they fuck. I would rather watch that than see whatever the fuck that was. Peelings was incredibly successful, of course. I do find it a bit weird though, how they incorporated the Mohiniyattam and Malayalam into it. There is no reason for Malayalam to be in that song, nor the Mohiniyattam and shit. It was just literally there. It was cultural appropriation, but it's fine because Allu Arjun is Malayali spiritually. I didn't have a big issue with Peelings when I first saw it because you know why? Because it was in context of the movie. The song was sexual because they were trying to indicate that they were having sex. But after that, Shekhar Master's choreographies kept getting weirder. Shekhar Master, the steps have gotten increasingly sexual, and maybe it could be him or it could be producers, but it has. I think the first time after Peelings I noticed was in the flute song. Then there was the infamous Dabidi. I mean, Balaya is a perv. We are used to this kind of stuff. But after that, in Robin Hood, we saw Adida surprise. So I feel they're either relying on shock value or they are capitalizing on Bhojpuri and the North Indian audience being turkeys. I mean, we already knew Telugu and Tamil industry is they always do this to women. But I feel it has gotten a bit worse after Pushpa 2. Maybe it's my observation, you can argue with that. But then this has now started to affect Bollywood. I will explain to you how. Now with Bollywood, I believe, this is my theory at least, Bollywood always focused on middle class and upper class people and the Sobo people, the South Delhi crowd. That was what they focused on. They weren't really thinking about the poor people. But now, because all of these, the current circle, they had rejected them and realized that this is actually 20% of India's total population, they decided so that they can at least make money, they started to appeal to the poorer population, the uneducated, the low income population, which is why there is an increasingly high number of action films nowadays. So the poor people are not getting any richer. So it wasn't working out for Bollywood. And because of Pushpa 2's success, they learned that they have to resort to these kind of ways. And I want to slam T-series because they are the reason why we started having films which were made for songs. The movie that started it all was Sanam Re. Sanam Re has one of the most beautiful, amazing, the perfect album of all time. The songs were like huge, but the movie was literally mid. And that movie still made like so much money. That is literally when T-series thought, yeah, we can move with this business model, and we started seeing these, good songs, bad movies. There are multiple factors on Bollywood's downfall. I'll make a separate video on if I can. But right now I've noticed they are trying to appeal to the lower class people because they have to like at least sell the movie by making the song trending. And we saw that already that on Instagram, trending songs are almost always appealing to the Bhojpuri people. They are actually a large population. Like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and parts of Chhattisgarh, they listen to Yo-Yo Honey Singh song is definitely a proof. I feel like I'm not saying that Bollywood is destroyed because of Bhojpuri people, but I'm just trying to tell you that they are definitely trying to appeal to them right now. I just know it. Last year though, I loved something that Bollywood did. It was a Chumma song last year. I think it was one of the best songs I heard last year. It was Bhojpuri vibes. I think it was a Bhojpuri singer, Pawan was singing it. The song was so good. I have to like give them credit where credit is due. That is how you incorporate Bhojpuri like audiences like interests tastefully. That's how you incorporate it, and I actually appreciate it. See, our first president was actually Bihari, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and he was really interested in making like a Bhojpuri film industry. And they actually made the first Bhojpuri film, and it was very family friendly. The first like few movies that came out of the industry were actually good and family friendly. But then Bollywood started churning out masala films, and they were like, oh, what? Everyone wants masala now, so we'll make masala films. And these masala films became, how do I explain? They were cheap because Bhojpuri film industry isn't that big, and these producers, it's not like they make that much money either. So they just started making like cheap masala films. And then these masala films needed to sell more, so they started adding item songs. Then it became like, how do I explain? It just became things that just had to be sold with no quality. It was just garbage. So why is the industry this way? The first factor is obviously the money problem. People don't have money there, okay? Nor the producers have the money. These people cannot afford to get like, multiplex tickets. They have to go to single screen. And those little 40 rupees, 50 rupees, those kind of like, theaters. And at that point, of course, the movies will be made cheaper. And on top of that, people are going to watch it because that's how they're happy.
उनका पर्सपेक्टिव सुनोगे जो मैंने सुना, तो मुझे ये भी लगा कि शायद अगर आपकी लाइफ में कुछ नहीं है, आपको कुछ नहीं मिला है, तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप पूरी जिंदगी हताशा में ही काटो, कभी एंजॉय करो ही नहीं। तो ये जो एक नाच होने वाला था इस मेले में, वो शायद एक ऐसा दिन था जहां वो अपने हालातों और परिस्थितियों को भूल कर एक दिन के लिए बस अपने आप को एंजॉय करना चाहते हैं, नाचना चाहते हैं। तो वो भी तो कुछ गलत नहीं है ना?
Because it's true. Why can't these people just be happy? But also, I don't want you guys to be happy with female sexual objectification. So because there is no money, the most accessible way they can watch films is the theater, the 40-50 rupees tickets, and YouTube. So at this rate, everything is like just spread like wildfire. The accessibility just makes it bigger and it just gets more mainstream. The second thing is lack of education and employment. These people are never going to grow, their film tastes are never going to get better as long as these people are not educated and they are not employed. And these people, because these people don't have money, they have to do these cheap, shitty movies with meager pay, and they can't do anything. I don't even blame these actors or actresses who have to do this, because that's the only kind of movies that are being made. Third one is obviously the regressive culture. The caste politics and like the misogyny is clear in these songs, the sexual lyrics, and even like the caste glorifying films and songs exist in this industry. It is a reflection of what the society is, let's be honest. And this is a problem we have all over India, but it's just much more extreme with Bhojpuri film industry. Like, don't tell me, they can do it, No, nobody can do it. But let's acknowledge that it's kind of worse with the Bhojpuris, and I feel bad for these people. You know who I blame for all this? The politicians of Bihar. I am literally convinced that the politicians who run Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, these places, I don't think they want to develop these states. I don't think they want these people to be educated. I don't think they want these people to get higher employment rates. I don't think so. I think they want them to remain poor, uneducated, and doing cheap labor. Keeping the society in those areas incredibly regressive and poor makes sure that these people stay in power. It makes sure that these people don't have the critical thinking or understanding to choose a better leader. I also believe that these people don't even care about these people. They just want the money. These places have lots of minerals. I think these people want them to be poor and uneducated, so that they can keep winning these elections, making sure that they never know a life outside of this, and they believe any stupidity that these politicians say, and they are so emotionally aggravated by the stupidest, like the dumbest things these people say. We know that fascism thrives when people are uneducated. We know that bad leaders are easily put in power when there is like more of an uneducated crowd. When the crowd is not educated, they will act like sheep and follow you because these people don't have critical thinking. I feel like that's exactly what's happening in these places. I think that is also why the Bhojpuri film industry is bad. I did read that the MP Ravi Kishan is trying to censor these films, but I don't think that's very useful because these people will find a way to watch them. The only thing you can do is actually educate them, fix the culture, everything. The Bihar has villages for certain castes even. It's literally that bad. Video is mostly like sympathy for Biharis. I know there are people who like don't even want to say they're from Bihar because of like the bad name they get. I think instead of hating your own people, I think you should hate the politicians. I feel like they are more at fault than the people themselves. Of course, inherently there's a culture problem within Bihar, but also at the same time, we have had states. Kerala had a regressive culture. It was much worse before. Even very recently, it was really that bad, and it got better. Of course, it's not perfect, but it got better with education and infrastructure. But I feel like I blame the government. Bhojpuri film industry exists because of public demand. Who is creating the public demand? Politicians. The math is mathing to me. I think whoever you guys vote for, I don't know who. I don't really care who wins the Bihar elections. I feel like nobody wants the best for that state. I might get lots of death threats for this, guys, for this video, but who cares? I have one life. I think I can say anything. I wasn't meaning to make this video about this, but it just came to be because I was yapping and I just cannot stop. Due to legal reasons, these are just theories, literally just theories. Bihar had a very deep cultural like history. They had lots of like languages which were like subsumed by Hindi, and I feel bad for them. I actually do, and I actually sympathize. I'm not going like, oh, look at these Bihari people. I'm literally just going, it's not fully their fault, is it? And that was the video, guys. Hope you guys liked the new camera and setup. Like, subscribe and share the video. My socials are linked in my profile, my description. So yeah, if you guys want to see more content, I'm more active on Instagram. So bye, Vedalams.